We developed the project really with the idea that we were creating something that Bruce Wayne would have wished to have, like he was one of our clients, one of our customers. So with some special needs, some specific requests according to his taste, and that's how we originated this bespoke edition of Battista and B95. Right, from the performance point of view, the spec point of view, it's already outstanding. Battista is a car with more than 1900 horsepower, 2400 Newton per meter torque, and this torque is basically deployed by 4 independent motors with a big battery pack of 120 kilowatt hour, ideal for vectoring. So the figures by themselves are outstanding, the acceleration, the speed. And to us specifically, I would say to you, as I said in the beginning, we are more design driven. So we rather prefer to start from the design and then using technology as a way to allow that design to come through, rather than prioritize technology above always and have the design to follow. Hello, my name is Paolo Dellachà. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Automobili Pininfarina. And this is Cars and Culture with Jason Stein.
It's an absolute pleasure to have one of the supreme design houses on our program. It is a name that transcends everything when it comes to design, and we're going to have a lot of fun talking about design, talking about the car industry from a different perspective. Paolo, it is a pleasure to have you on the program. Welcome to Cars and Culture.
Thank you very much, Jason. My pleasure to be here with you today.
I want to start with your latest news, because you can't have a conversation with this news in the background and not addressing it. But you are part of a Warner Brothers experience that's very exciting for many people. The internet is kind of blowing up about this Bruce Wayne driven Warner Brothers experience. Tell me a little bit about that, if you could.
Well, yes, indeed, we are part of this experience. Is a project that actually originated some time ago. I would say a year ago or more. We had the first discussion with Warner Bros. Back in Monterey, 2023, and basically they approached us to introduce this. At the moment, was no more than a, let's say, concept in its very early stage. And the idea was to create overall a kind of real experience about Bruce Wayne as a character, originally from the comics and then also in the movie, and create a world of Bruce Wayne. And in this world, Bruce Wayne would have, of course, as a billionaire entrepreneur, let's say, he would have had his stuff, and among them his cars. And the idea is that we were, let's say, very glad to being proposed to be the one car company to provide the Bruce Wayne car that he would, in a way, own and drive in his real life. So that's how it originated, and since then we developed the project really with the idea that we were creating something that Bruce Wayne would have wished to have, like he was one of our clients, one of our customers. So with some special needs, some specific requests according to his taste, and that's how we originated this bespoke edition of Battista and B95.
It's incredible. How exciting was that for you to be a part of?
Well, very much. First of all, I'm a big, let's say, car guy, but I was also a fan of comics, and above all Batman, since I was very young, so quite into that stuff from, let's say, originally independently from my mission in APF as of today. So even more, in a way, fantastic to be, in a way, be part of this overall project. So it went quite well. We have quite a creative design team, also creative engineering team, and basically it started from a brainstorming of how this two specific version of B95 and Battista could look like and could be in terms of specific contents, design, features, all of that.
So what does Bruce Wayne want when he orders a car?
Well, we thought definitely something that would taste according to his way of looking at reality. So he's definitely a fan of technological technology, let's say, improvements. So we thought that we should have some bespoke technology into this car. So we did something on the exterior, we did something on the interior, we did something especially on the infotainment system to create something that would be part of the Bruce Wayne world, including his butler, Alfred Pennyworth, giving the voice to the navigation system. And definitely some cool design, especially in terms of CMF, when we developed this Gotham spec and this Dark Knight spec reflecting the two different moods of Bruce Wayne.
When will we see a little bit more about this?
Well, we have launched the project digitally 1 month ago. And actually, as we speak, some people are living the physical experience of it, where actually now in New York, Warner Bros. Has also recreated the house of Bruce Wayne, and in the garage, there is a wonderful Battista part there.
Mm-hmm.
So now the people are basically taken through a physical experience where we see the car and they see all the other objects that are part of the Bruce Wayne world, and they are taken through this journey of being for a couple of hours becoming themselves Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne comes to life, Paolo.
That was the idea, and finally we are making it.
Lives in Gotham City and has a garage and has a Pininfarina in the garage. That's great.
He definitely, I think he would have a big collection in his garage, but yes, Pininfarina could not be out of it.
Yeah, wonderful. You've also made news recently in Lake Como. Tell me about what happened there.
Yes, this was actually 1 week ago, so quite a crazy period. What happened is after we gave the first world premiere of Pura Vision in Monterrey last August, we decided that it was also the very right occasion to give to Pura Vision its first European premiere. So we showcased Pura Vision at the concept launch, and it was quite, let's say, an outstanding overall welcome from the fans, the collectors, and a lot of crowd, not only when the car was showcased in Villa d'Este in Comon the Saturday. There was on Sunday the opening in Villa d'Erbe, where basically all the fans were allowed to come and see a beautiful concept and old-timers, and among them Pura Vision. We're speaking of more than 15,000 people, I was told, by the organization. So quite a big success, I would say, for the Villa d'Este organization, and of course for us being there with them.
Design has always been such a popular romantic topic. Is it just me, Paolo, or is design taking on all kinds of different forms and shapes and abilities now?
Well, first of all, we are Pininfarina, and Pininfarina, by its nature, is a design-driven company. So for us, everything starts from the vision of our designer. They are the ones that are trying to think of what the future could look like, not only in 1 or 2 years from now, maybe in 10 or 20 years from now. That's basically the vision. And from their vision, is basically the building block on which we try to deploy everything according to that original vision, also from the engineeristic point of view. But yes, we are definitely a design-driven company, and for us, design will be one of our main factors in everything that we do.
Yours is a heralded name in automotive design. I mean, Pininfarina itself, when you say the name, it means design, as you just said. But very few of our listeners will know that there was a man named Pininfarina. Give me a little bit of a history of the company so that our listeners understand and appreciate Pininfarina.
Yeah. The man that founded the company, his name was Battista Farina. He founded the company in 1930. Since then, he was so good in designing cars that he started to design what you could say the greatest collection of cars, designing cars for the most admired brands. And among them, of course, Ferrari, but also Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Bentley, Rolls-Royce. So really many. It was a tradition that was also continued through the family. So Sergio, his son, and after Sergio, there were Andrea and Paolo that sadly left us a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And this is what we, as Automobili Pininfarina and also Pininfarina SPA, which are in the B2B business, are trying to bring forward. So that level, that kind of tradition and heritage in designing cars, which, as I was saying a few minutes before, start from being a visionary. So trying to understand how overall design and also technology could evolve, because technology is then what is needed to make that design happen, unifying forms and function together. He was actually named Battista Farina. He changed his name is Pininfarina. Maybe a few people know, because Pinin in the Italian dialect of this region means short, and he was a short man. So he was called Pinin by his friends, and so he decided to change his last name from Farina to Pininfarina, and that's where basically all the story began.
And design houses, for those in North America who don't know, design houses work very closely with automakers and have worked with them through the years. Where are design houses today?
Well, I think that luckily there are still many design houses that are very active and are still supporting all the automakers in many ways. Design houses, but I would also say coach builders. So I think that what these people started to do from the very beginning was not only to design, but also to realize, especially working on the upper body, this beautiful shape that they first were, let's say, designing from a sketch. So it's the ability of designing, but it's also the ability of coach building, which means handcrafting, quality, exclusivity also. So this ability remains. It has evolved through the years. So we definitely need to add more and more engineering to the ability of design. And engineering is about hardware, but more and more is also about software, human machine interface, infotainment, more and more cyber security, functional safety. So there are many layers that are also coming more and more due to the evolution of technology to play an important role. But still, yes, this ability has remained there. And as Automobili Pininfarina, we are just trying to get the most out of that ability and putting into reality with cars that are really there to basically state this ability in a way.
you are the example of bespoke coach building, of truly design focused bespoke.
Yes, yes. It was our idea from the beginning, given the tradition of our brand, to develop something that could have been furtherly developed in the highest possible exclusive and bespoke way for our customer.
Mhm.
So Battista is a car by itself, but what we sell is not only Battista as a standalone car. We sell Battista developed in a bespoke CMF, and not only CMF. Sometimes we can go up to the level of a one-off according to the customer taste and wishes. So we are preserving that ability to create something that in a way allow us to position every Battista as a one-off, so as something that will be living as unique for the decades to come.
Right, right. Well, let's talk about your own history. You have remarkably been in the position for more than a year already now, and you were appointed to CEO in February of last year.
Yes.
How has that gone for you?
Well, I would not be scared to say that I'm still in the learning curve.
Mhm.
So, I've been always, so I'm an engineer. My background is in overall research and development, and I have done this in a few companies before joining Pininfarina.
You
So
were at
I've been
Maserati and Ferrari, correct?
I started in Ferrari in 2000. I moved to Maserati in 2012.
Mhm.
And in a way, I can easily say the best way to learn very rapidly how really your cars are being developed. Of course, especially when we are in the supercar and hypercar world. And yes, in 2018, I joined this project, which was really started as something unique. So you could say a startup, but with 90 plus years of history. I was amongst the few to basically build the overall team of Automobili Pininfarina and start the development of Battista from 2018 until the moment we were able to deliver our first car to our first client in 2022. And since then, more we have delivered to clients. So it was an overall marvelous challenge. Yes, and then I was appointed CEO 1 year and a half ago. So now, in a way, I still feel very lucky because I still very close to the product and the product development. I just need to take care of few other aspects, but very important aspects, which are more about your, let's say, overall business of the company.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, we should say that the Battista is a pure electric hyper GT. Production of it ultimately led to the most powerful Italian sports car ever. I mean, full stop.
Which was, by the way, one of the reasons for which I actually wanted to join this project. So to develop my first electric car from the beginning. We did that also through the support of very good technological partner. It wasn't easy. We had COVID in between. We had something that was completely new and highly sophisticated, but I think that we brought together something that, yeah, you're right, from the performance point of view, the spec point of view, it's already outstanding. Battista is a car with more than 1900 horsepower, 2400 Newton per meter torque, and this torque is basically deployed by 4 independent motors with a big battery pack of 120 kilowatt hour, ideal for vectoring. So The figures by themselves are outstanding, the acceleration, the speed, but I'm even more happier. I think we are as a team even more happier when it's about realizing the driving dynamics that we were able overall to calibrate, which finally end up in a level of driving pleasure, which is really something I prefer to say different rather than better to any other things that have a similar level of horsepower or less.
Yeah, it's amazing when I saw the launch of it faster than at the time a current Formula One race car, 0 to 100 kilometers, sub 2 seconds. I mean, it's crazy. When you were a boy growing up, did you know that the car business was going to be the one that you would go to?
No, I was not knowing. I was just hoping for it.
Ah,
So let's say
ah,
I was passionate of cars since I was a boy, rightly as you said. But then, of course, life, but in a way, yes, I was able to realize my dream, so to develop my career in this field, and I'm therefore even more happy when we are, let's say, adding to our team even more younger talents that can, let's say, improve their skill set and can be an active part of our team, helping us to do even more. So that also gives me a lot of happiness.
well, when you grow up in Italy and you work for the companies that you worked for and work for now, it must be a dream come true to some extent.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. When you were named into the position, you said that you will take the opportunity to lead Automobili Pininfarina to its next phase of evolution. What does that mean? What is the next phase of evolution?
Well, for sure, we from the beginning, it was clear that Battista for us is a very important milestone. So it's our starting point, but of course, we want to do more in the future, while, let's say, having all respect for our first project and all the derivatives that, by the way, we are developing from this technology. So of course, we have been working already since months to the strategy, which is about the development of future products that will overall increase our lineup of vehicles. And I cannot, of course, undisclose lots of them today to you, but I will be happy to do it at the right time.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that there is a lot, let's say, on which we are working on. We want to explore different segments. We want to explore different technologies. However, still playing in this niche, you would say, where we still are able to have a one-to-one relationship with all our clients. This is in a way what I could define our comfort zone. So for us, it's not about, maybe you could say, spreading markets, but it's about spreading relationship with people.
Right.
And in that way to stick to our vision, to our mission, which is dream to reality, cars that the people would dream for.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about design for a moment. Do electric cars offer the opportunity for greater freedom of design than internal combustion engine?
Yes. Let's say that from the technical point of view, the way you can, in a way, the biggest difference is instead, what is the engine in an internal combustion engine in an electric car is the battery. So the battery is the heart. an electric car. Of course, there are other systems like the drive unit and the inverter and many other high voltage systems, which is also very crucial, but the battery is the most important one. And the fact is that the battery, which is basically the system that is encapsulating the energy that at the end allows you to bring that level of power and torque to the road. You can shape the battery in many different ways. And this can be done according to the type of vehicle, can be done according to the type of performance that you are setting to achieve. Overall, yes, there are definitely some, in a way, possibility to increase the degrees of freedom rather than if we compare against an internal combustion engine car, especially also when it's about cooling. Cooling needs are much lesser if we are talking about cars of equivalent power. So electric gives you the ability of doing something different from the design point of view.
Do electric cars need to be designed in such a way to let the world know that they're different, or does that not matter?
Well, I would say that I think people would answer to this question in different ways, and I think that all answer could be valid. So you can deploy the design according to something that doesn't, let's say, necessarily keeps in consideration the constraints of electric, or you can use the further degrees of freedom to create something different from the others. I think this is more relevant to each car maker's, what is his tradition, what is his design vision, and to us specifically, I would say to you, as I said in the beginning, we are more design driven. So we rather prefer to start from the design and then using technology as a way to allow that design to come through rather than prioritize technology above all ways and have the design to follow. But this is our way, and as I said, I think that is something really peculiar of Pininfarina.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When we talk about design trends, where do you look to think of design trends? What consumer products do you look for when you think of those? And maybe how far out are you looking into the future when it comes to the ideas behind what you're going to create?
Well, it would be more right to ask I'm not a designer, although I'm a passionate of design, so it would be more right to ask to our designer what actually they are thinking when they start to design our new car. But I speak to them a lot. And basically, I think it's about combining two things. One is, of course, as in every field, you benchmark the other vehicles from competitors, the one that are already on the market and the one that are supposed to come on the market based on the concept or the show car that they have already exposed. But from the other side, while you are keeping that always in the right consideration and being humble to that, then you need to combine that with some elements which are typical of the Pininfarina design tradition. I can try to summarize some of them to you. One is the purity of lines. So if you look at a Pininfarina design from the past, but also from the present, is never something that the technical people from design call over-design. So there are very few lines, and more than lines, we try in Pininfarina to give importance to proportions. And then there are many other, let's say, factors like controls of the reflections of the lights. That is what, besides the proportion and the lines that you have designed and that you have put into shape, play an important role in the perception from the people when they are looking to this design. So there are some of these elements that I would say, in a way, are evolving naturally, but are not drastically changing. And we try to evolve them, respecting one other tradition of Pininfarina, which is called the tradition of innovation. So everything we do, while taking in the right consideration the tradition, has to be innovative, has to be something that should look very beautiful, not only on day one, when it's the first time you show it, but also in 10, 20, or 30 years from now.
And you have many phrases that envelop your company, that describe your company: fearless, iconic to some extent. What are your customers looking for beyond those things?
Well, our customer, luckily, I would say to them is less a matter of replacing something that they own in their collection, is eventually a matter of adding something that is not in their collection as of today. And I think that when they are buying a Battista, they are adding many things to their collection. They are adding a beautiful design, which, by the way, is a design by Pininfarina that for the very first time has the Pininfarina logo in the center of the vehicle, not on the side. So it means that is a first car fully developed by Pininfarina. So not only designed, but fully engineered by Pininfarina. The other factor that they are looking into is their possibility, by interacting with our designer, to customize their car according to their taste, with a level of freedom that they would not have possibly with many other OEMs, if no others, actually. So I think this is what they are basically adding to their collection. And of course, then this beautiful design is coming with 2000 horsepower almost, and with a level of driving dynamics that is really setting something that was unseen before. All in all, and this is also, let's say, very important to say, they are also making, of course, a very, let's say, I would say, quite firm evaluation in what will be the residual value. So what I think that Pininfarina has been very, let's say, very being good in all these decades is that if you look at all the historical Pininfarina cars, the residual value and the auction value is very high. Again, right. And again, this is not, let's say, a coincidence. It's because of the beautiful design that these cars have and the value that they have generated by that. So I think this let's say, all together what we're trying to bring to them. And finally, I would say also our availability to listen to them and try to implement maybe even further things that maybe ourselves we didn't think of. At the end, they are the customers and they are the one that we need to please.
And it should be said too, Paolo, that it's not just the beautiful design, but it's the integration of technology that you've become known for, the software and cutting edge over the air technology. A lot of things that some OEMs strive for, but that you're putting into these vehicles on a regular basis. That must be a challenge to keep up with all of that technology.
It's an incredible challenge. And maybe in a way, when we speak about technology, it is a little bit less romantic than speaking about design. And in some cases, it's seen as a given, but it's not easy. It's not easy because especially the level of sophistication that you have in a vehicle, and it's not only the fact that it's electric, it can be any vehicle. And also, I would say by the right improvement in terms of overall safety that has improved through the years in terms of passive, but above all, active safety. So these are all, let's say, a lot of advantages from the progress. And yes, we want to make them available for our customers. So this is why, yes, we wanted to have the right level of connectivity and usability that is giving definitely a plus to them.
Yeah, wonderful. If I wanted to buy a vehicle and design it today through your organization, how long would it take?
It can vary. I would say it depends on how complex would be your dreams.
Right.
So let's say, but
let's
to
say
give
that my
you,
dreams are sort of
yes,
complicated.
let's say to give you, or let's say how sophisticated are
Right.
your dreams.
Right.
I think this is a better word.
Right.
But I would say that it can take from minimum 9 months to 1 year and a half. And in the case of a one-off, even 2 years.
Wow. Yeah. And your customers, just so that everybody knows, they're global, right? You are around the world. I know that you have partners that you work with in North America, but you have partners everywhere, don't you?
Yes. North America so far has been our main market, but of course we are working in Europe. In May, we were launching Battista in Japan.
Japan, right?
So
Correct.
also, which is also a crucial market because it's a market full of fans of the brand and full of people which are very knowledgeable about technology and design. So it was definitely 2 weeks that for all the team that was engaged there, including myself, were amazing to interact with these people. So yes, all in all, as I said, we are trying to deploy this magic. Let me use this word anywhere if possible.
Yeah. I want to share a personal story. I had the chance to spend, and you mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. I had the chance to spend many years with Paulo Pininfarina, and he attended many dinners that I was the host of in Geneva and Frankfurt and Paris and a bunch of different places. Can you share with our audience the impact that Paulo had on your company and of course his unfortunate passing this spring?
Yeah, Paolo was really part of the team, if I can say. Of course, for us, he was a guidance. In Pininfarina, he was basically I would say, the very high reference when it was about also taking some decision. So you know that especially in the advanced phase of design, there are many proposals that are developed by many designers. And at a certain point in time, you need to have a convergence. And he was so, let's say, I mean, he really was having this legacy, understanding immediately how a sketch on a drawing done with a pencil would have been evolved in the real car. And therefore, this ability to not only judge and decide, but this ability to advise and improve, in a way, increase our motivations and increase our efforts. He was also not only passionate, he was in some cases even enthusiastic. So he was bringing that spirit and that passion and really communicating into us in a wonderful way. Definitely, I must say, we wouldn't have had a B95, so the Barchetta that we showcased also last year in Monterey, without his help. And by the way, he was the one taking the right decision of calling B95, where 95 would have been the celebration of the 95th anniversary of this brand.
Yeah. He passed away April 9th. The industry will miss him completely. The final thing for you, Paolo. How much does Pebble Beach mean to you? I know that is coming up. It's an important event for you. North America is an important market for you. What will it mean to you?
Well, it's definitely the most important. I mean, there are many important events during the season, but definitely is definitely the event for us, and for us, but also overall because it's the most important event for the community of fans, and it's a community of fans that gathers to see and enjoy classical car as well as modern cars. And what I love of Monterey is that there is really this kind of integration between old and new. Last year, it was amazing. We were showcasing at the Quail, the Battista Edizione Pininfarina,
That's
B95
right.
and Pura Vision. And for a coincidence, we were basically in the middle of maybe 30 to 40 Pininfarina classical car. So basically in the round of 30 meters, you could have a clear vision of the future, at least from our perspective, and the best possible representation of what this brand has done in these 9 decades.
Yeah, amazing. I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to seeing what news that you have there. I know you have news that you can't share yet, but there will be news. So we will be sure to talk to you there again. It's been a pleasure having you on the program and telling your story here on Cars and Culture. Pininfarina is culture. It is automotive culture with an Italian flair. So thank you for being on the program.
Thank you very much, Jason. It was really a pleasure to talk to you today.
See you in Monterey.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.